Sup, Reds, Creepy Kitty, and welcome back to Stillwater. But it was only them on the road. Noah, who usually chats his ear off by now, leans quietly against the car door as he looks out the passing streetlights, reserved and distant. He hasn't said a word to Hugo since they left the office.
Hey, you're a lot quieter than usual. What's wrong?
Huh, what a surprise. Have you been looking at me, Kuya?
No, you idiot. You usually just talk a lot, that's all.
So do you miss me talking?
Just say it.
Do you believe her story?
What?
Given all the things she's told us, do you think she's telling the truth?
Yes, I believe her. Or at least, I believe she hasn't lied to us. But you know, I can't shake this feeling that she is hiding something. Like, if she left out certain details on purpose. Also, why did she have to travel this far out of town for a private eye? Surely there must have been another far closer to her home than ours. I just don't know how to explain it. As expected of you, Hugo. Are you making fun of me?
No, not at all. I'm just admiring your observations. I didn't want to offend Nina earlier, so I kept quiet until she finished, but her last name caught me off guard. Have you heard about the Mortimers? They're a pretty distinguished family that own an esteemed fishing company. Well, they used to, I believe. They have yet to name an heir.
What do you mean? Shouldn't it naturally go to Nina?
It should, but I don't know. From what I heard, each time they try to name a successor, that relative mysteriously disappears. Gone without a trace, or so anyone thought. Their bodies would soon turn up months after. And you know what's strange? More strange than the people just randomly going missing, Noah? Really? All of them have been labeled as accidents by local news. No foul play, just another unfortunate loss for the family. They've been struck with so many tragedies that over time, people began to believe they were cursed or something.
Cursed?
I think I can understand why she wouldn't go to the place again. They most likely thought she was seeing things and went along with the procedures just to keep face. But deep down, they must have thought she had gone mad. I can't imagine all of this for Nina. And most of all, who knows what we'll find there.
Is that why you decided to come with me?
Well, partially. I'm more worried about you, though.
Me? Why?
Think of it this way. I'm the appointed driver. When you decide to do some pretty reckless crap, I'll be there to drive you to the local hospital. Besides, 2 is better than 1.
Exactly. I was fine with Colby coming with me.
Oh, it's Colby again. Well, have you heard that 3 is better than 2? Mortimer Estate, 6 p.m. Ooh. It's this giant mansion. It reminds me of I think something about a key. It's on Netflix specifically. I only watched up to about 30 minutes of the first episode, no spoilers. Passing through countless dirt roads and steep cliffs, the estate can finally be seen beyond the evergreen. Nestled away from prying eyes, it stands tall, magnificent, and classic. Truly a rarity only afforded to the privileged, and yet with all its opulence, it looms from a distance. Hugo and Noah could only gaze at the sheer scale of the manor. Its grand stature topples easily over the dozens of houses they've drove past. Wow, look at the size of it! I could never imagine seeing a house like this in person. It's almost too surreal.
Come on, she's waiting for us.
Immediately after exiting the driver's seat, a sudden sharp pain weighs heavy on Hugo's chest. Grasping tightly at his coat, he begins to gasp for air. His vision hazes as he leans close to the car, trying desperately to ground himself. It's probably because you're not eating right, Hugo, and you're just constantly drinking coffee. I've been there. You're gonna faint.
Like a fish drawn out of the sea, he desperately heaves. The air in his lungs, escaping too quickly, burns as he feels his throat start to strain, drawing tighter the more he breathes. But this pain pales in comparison to a feeling far more excruciating. Is it the house? No, something far more sinister. He feels that someone is watching him, a piercing gaze fixed on him, like leering at a bug and waiting to strike.
We'll be together soon, Henry.
What the hell? Damn it already! I need to hurry or else. Hey, are you alright? Noah calls out to him, snapping him out of his fixated trance. Oh no, don't worry, Colby, like that. Colby nudges his head against Hugo, whining with concern over his partner's well-being. Did you hear that just now? Hear what? That voice. It was so close to my ear, Is everything alright? Oh, I'm fine, don't mind me. I'm just a bit winded out from the trip, that's all. I'd be happy to make you some tea at the very least. If it's no trouble. No, not at all. It's the least I can do. Once again, this subtle uneasiness from Nina surfaces. But before Hugo could get a chance to look further into it, she walked off towards the front porch without saying another word. Are you sure you're alright? You sounded like you were choking earlier. I said I'm fine. Besides, we're already here. We can't back out now. Listen to me. I think you should... Noah abruptly cuts his lecture short as he notices Nina stopping by the front door. She stands by the door silently contemplating something. It's just like before, but this time she seems even more anxious. Whatever unease she tried to mask early became more apparent the minute they walked closer to the front door. I have been quite honest with you, Detective. Just like before, as if carefully choosing her next words, she decides that in this situation words are not enough. You'll see for yourselves what I mean. And with that, Nina enters the house, leaving the three to follow behind. Hugo is about to enter through the foyer when he feels a tug on his arm. Don't forget what I told you. If something happens, let me know right away. You'll be the first to know. And with that, Noah releases his grip on Hugo. They proceed to head in, not knowing what awaits them beyond the door. Greeted with a brightly lit hallway, Hugo notes immediately that the interior is just as grand. Adorned with floral accents and antique furnishings, the house itself exudes the word elegance. Oh goodness, my phone. A classic and rustic charm with the walls and floorings made from the finest wood. Hugo couldn't help but gape when he walked in. However, he notices something even more distinct than the splendor. Behind the seemingly perfect veneer, an unsettling air wreathes throughout the house, leaving no room for doubt that the inside is far more terrifying than the outside. Please come this way. Bracing themselves, they enter the dimly lit drawing room. At first glance, Hugo could not discern the silhouette situated at the far corner. Only the sparse lighting from the window pierces through a fraction of the room's darkness. However, as they approach closer to the silhouette, Hugo now understands the reason for all of Nina's unsettling vagueness. Grandfather, we have guests. That is not a grandfather. Sitting on the armchair is a very young man, not much older than Hugo or Noah. That is not... He is dressed modestly and shares none of the imposing presence. of the manor. No, rather such luxury does not even remotely reflect on the man before them at all. Oh goodness, no. Just like the letter, timeless, delicate, and jarringly out of place. Staring only at the window, the young man sits there, dazed with little acknowledgement of the people around him. Still motionless,
I'm sorry if there was. You could probably slow it down easier and just, read it for yourselves. Like a doll.
Grandpa, these are the people I spoke of. This is Detective Laurent and his two assistants, Colby and Noah. They're going to help us.
Even after introducing them to the head of the Mortimer estate, Hugo and Noah could not help but feel unnerved. The man before them is supposed to be a frail and older than any of them, and yet here he remains forever unchanging, forever young.
They've come a long way, so I'll be making some tea. Would you also like some, Grandpa?
He does not reply back, nor does he glance at Nina or anyone else in the room, only fixates his gaze on the rain, nothing else.
I'll be sure to make a cup for you too.
She then timidly gestures to Hugo and Noah back to the foyer, bringing more questions to the two follow Nina outside. But before they leave the drawing room, Hugo takes one last look at the young man. There is an all too familiar air about Henry Mortimer. His eyes, they're similar to his own. Whatever he must be longing for, Hugo knows it will never end well. Nina, that man!
Yes, he's my grandfather, the one I asked you all to watch over. I know this is hard to believe, but...
Nina draws something out from her pocket. It's an old picture of a handsome man with slick back hair wearing the finest of suits. The gentleman in the picture has a different air to him, one of wealth and power, none of which reflects at all on the current Henry Mortimer. It's almost as if looking at two different people.
This isn't much to go by, but believe me, they are the same person.
Then why does he look so young?
It happened a few nights ago. I was on my way to get a cup of water when I heard a loud thud coming from my grandfather's room. I was worried that something fell over, so I went to go check. When I opened the door, I found him collapsed on the ground. I rushed to help him up, but when I did, he looked so different. He wore the same clothes that my grandpa wore that night. In his face, I recognized his face. He looked younger. So many things were rushing through my head at the moment, and yet I knew he felt familiar to me. I know it sounds bizarre the more I talk about it, but that's what happened. That was also the same night I found that letter. It was next to him, already open. I'm sorry again for all of this. No matter who I went to, they either said something was wrong with me or my family. With everything going on, maybe they're right. The pools of water, the letters, Lewis, and now this. I've been ignoring the signs for years and just blindly hoping things can get better if I try finding solutions on my own. That's not enough anymore. Maybe my family really is cursed.
No, they're not. Curses aren't real.
Detective?
I think we easily get too involved in believing that sort of thing exists. In truth, the one who fixate on it make it their reality. Rumors, doubts, lies, all of those things are what they want to become real. Deep-rooted emotions like that can't possibly be healed or fixed right away. But like a curse, those emotions drag other people down with them. Personally, I think you were caught up in all of this. But I assure you, we'll see this through. For you and Mr. Mortimer. If magic and curses aren't real, that's not Mr. Mortimer.
Thank you.
Good. Now our first priority is to find out more about Lewis. Nina, the letter you showed us back at the agency, do you have it with you?
Yes, it's here.
Do you mind if I borrow it for a bit? I'll be sure to give it back.
Of course, but what are you going to do with it? I've searched everything on that letter and I still couldn't come up with any clues.
I'll be using it as a reference or a guide, if you will. I'm afraid I can't discuss too much of the process, trade secret and all.
Of course. I'll check upstairs. Noah, you and Colby check the ground floor. Got it. Before they leave to do their own investigation, Hugo grabs a hold of Noah's shoulder. He leans in close, enough for Nina to not hear. Keep a close eye on Mr. Mortimer and Nina. Especially Nina. I don't want her to be dragged any more than she already is. So, whatever happens, keep her safe. Hugo, you... Fine, but remember, yell for me, okay? I know. Thank you, Noah. I'm counting on you. You too, boy. With a final nod at them, Hugo then goes towards the staircase and heads upstairs. Noah stares for a moment longer at Hugo's back before he disappears into the first floor. He then turns to look at Colby. Well, it's time we get to work. Right, Colby? Go. Investigation start. Woof woof. Oh. Mr. Mortimer still sits motionless by the corner of the room, his gaze never leaving the rain. I want to know why all these are, A large bookshelf stands close to the entranceway. It contains a couple of photo albums and a few phone books. A delicate arrangement of violets and white roses. They seem to be fresh and fairly new. An old rotary dial telephone. It looks like it's still in good use. Frames decorated the walls are covered in white sheets filled with a thin lining of dust on top of each one. Wow, there are so many paintings covering the walls. Are there more like this all over the house? Yes, my grandfather commissioned many back in the day, but sadly he doesn't do that anymore. Nina, I can't help but notice the paintings are covered. How come? I did that. I covered them up for my grandfather's sake. For his sake? Yes, he was pretty obsessed with them, you see. There were times when he would mutter to himself and would just stare at the paintings for days on end. It worried me so much that I had to cover them all. Since then, he hasn't stared at any of them. He just sits quietly looking outside. I see. About the paintings, I also noticed they all have similar theme. They all had water in them. I know this isn't a coincidence since you've told us before, but if there's anything you know, anything at all, then please tell me. Noah, can I ask you a question first? Sure, go ahead. Do you believe in mermaids? Mermaids? I don't suppose I do. Why? Is this like the Ophelia painting thing? Casting her gaze to the floor, Nina anxiously fidgets and tightly clasps her hands together. She then briefly sighs and continues. Well, there's this story, or rather more like a fairy tale that my family has passed down. A fairy tale? Yes, well, it feels like one to me. It was about a fisherman who fell in love with a mermaid. Every day and night he would go out by the shore to gaze at her beauty, but one day she vanished, leaving him confused and heartbroken. Determined he would sail many seas for a chance to see her again. Sailing from coast to coast, new lands beyond, and back he would go. Not long after, fortune followed him all throughout his journey and made him one of the wealthiest and most highly respected in his village. However, despite all the wealth he gained through his travels, he never found the mermaid again. She would only be a dream, nothing more. And that was the end of the story. It doesn't end happily, but I guess there was a lesson behind all of it. I just never understood it. What do you think happened to the mermaid? She could have been just gone for a little while, and because he was so anxious to see her, he immediately left to go find her, and she was probably thinking he left and probably stayed waiting for him. I know it's an exaggeration, and yet I can't help but wonder. It's hard to say. I just feel bad for both of them. Huh? To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of sad endings. If it were me, I would wish the fisherman and the mermaid could see each other again. Or at least, that's what I think. If they weren't meant to be with each other? Yeah, I think so at least. I wouldn't want to imagine going through a journey all by myself. It's hard being alone. A journey all by yourself. Mortimer Estate, 11:30 p.m.
We're staying here for a while.
After searching vigorously through each of the rooms, he knew his findings would eventually lead him here. This is it. Hugo walks towards the nearest lampshade and switches it on. Dimly illuminated, he sees the extent of how lavish this part of the house is. From the customized window drapes to the vintage furnishings, everything here exudes that extravagance. But much like the interior Hugo has seen so far, he finds this one in particular reeks of it. Plastered from wall to wall, a gloom lingers. It's as if the room itself is moldering despite its preserved nature. A classic wooden chest lies at the foot of the canopy bed. Its lock still firmly holds, safeguarding whatever is inside. A leather-bound journal rests on the edge of the table. Its pages are torn out so haphazardly that the binding itself is starting to fall out. Aww, an old photo of a lost time, a sweet summertime memory of a little girl with her beloved grandfather. A meticulously organized set of academic books ranging from non-fiction to geography are all on display. However, hidden away behind the vast collection are some children's fairy tales, all carefully kept. Scattered pieces of paper, all forgotten, lie waiting on the cold floor. Heavily etched markings are found scrawled all over the papers. Oh. A pristine pearl white tea set sits patiently by, untouched and unused for quite some time. Oh, goodness. Atop the fireplace, emblemished and unmarked by time, hangs a curious and familiar painting of a beautiful woman floating on water. I need to hurry. I don't want to stay here for too long. Mortimer Estate, 11:50 p.m. What in the world? He searches and searches, and still there is no sign of Lewis. To Hugo, even if there is a fragment, a singular thread to that person, to their real selves, he could find them. But there is nothing. Not one thing pertaining to him. It's as if he thought of Lewis barely exists at all. What is going on? I clearly sense that presence from before, but it's gone again. Damn it. I wish I had more time. No, calm down. It has to be there. I just need to focus. He ponders again, retracing every step and every little detail, hoping that he overlooks something. Yet all he knows is that the one tangible thing that connects him, that tethers so closely to this place, and most of all to Henry, is the letter. Words of promise, of love, all delicately etched into a page, but tainted with a powerful and dark emotion that has been festering for too long. Tainted. From the very start of all this, Hugo believed that whoever Lewis was, they were the ones responsible. He thought he could find them and convince them to stop their haunting for good, to bring them peace and to move on. However, that isn't the case anymore. The unnatural force that binds everyone so closely together in this family is not the cause of an angry spirit. No, it's something far more devious than that. As he takes the letter out from the envelope, he notices a change within. Bearing no foreboding threat at the bottom of the page, it looks just like a regular letter, or rather, what it once was, a sad and tragic love. If you can't come, then I understand. Things have gotten more complicated with your mother ever since she found out about us, right? I'm sorry, Henry, for everything. It hurts to see you so torn up like this. I would never hurt you or drag you along with me. If this is to be our farewell, then can I ask you for one last favor? Could you keep my locket? I know this is selfish of me, but I'd like for you to have it. I'd be happy to know it's safe with you. My heart will forever be yours, Henry. With love, always, Lewis. So this is the true letter. A small warmth emanates from the paper, wrapping closely around his fingers, quiet and soothing.
Oh, was it a secret love story between Henry and Lewis?
The fragment Hugo was searching for. More likely, like back then, around the time when his mom found out, she immediately was like, no, that can't be. You gotta fix yourself and all that jazz. Gosh dang it. Lewis, I'm sorry. You're also a victim in all this, too. Please, if you can hear me, I need your help. Without warning, the sound of a click can be heard across the bedroom. As if something unlocked itself, Hugo turns his head towards the sound and sees the chest. Unlike the other furniture, its dark and rustic features have not been maintained well, left to rot on its own. Suddenly, he stops at the sound of a voice, a sweet voice whispering to him, beckoning him towards the fireplace.
Come here, my dear, sweet boy.
Don't go to the pain. No, stay focused, Hugo. I won't let it get to me. Preparing himself, he heads towards the chest and opens it. Inside, scrambled together, are bunches of notebooks and small trinkets.
Yeah, also, she literally stated before that he apparently will start staring at it for hours. I already can tell is a bad thing. No.
Hugo continues to rummage through when he stumbles across an old newspaper article. Young men found dead by the lake. An unidentified young man was found on the morning of so-and-so, 3 days prior to his death, according to the police. Ruled as suicide, police has claimed that the troubled youth drowned himself. This certainly is a tragic loss, an unfortunate event indeed, comments. No claim of his body has been made yet. Lewis. By the corner of Hugo's eye, he spots a bright glint buried beneath the clutter. He reaches for it. A locket of brilliant gold shines unblemished, retaining a timeless luster. Inside it safeguards a picture of a young man with glasses, smiling brightly. This must be the locket that he was talking about. It's so pretty. I'm surprised it still shines like this. And this picture. Did he put this here? No. It might have been Henry. But why would he store it away like this? What should I do? I'm gonna take the locket because I don't even know what leaving the locket would do. I might need it for something. I should probably hold on to this for now. Take it to him, please. Lewis? A gentle but distant plea echoes in Hugo's heart. Sorry about that. A forgotten ache of yearning and regret grips him deeply. Feelings not of his own start to rise like small ripples on a pond, wanting to be found again and remembered. Don't worry, I'll bring it to him. I'll make sure of it. Hugo's about to put everything back into the chest when he feels a wet and cold sensation crawling up his leg. Ugh! Water? A pool of water relentlessly spreads across the floor, as already seeping into the chest.
Oh, was he like straight up drowned?
Damn it, no! Suddenly the light shut off. A scream is heard, followed by a myriad of shouts. Hugo is about to call out to Noah, but stops at the sight of pale feet before him. Looming over him stands a tall and ominous figure. His face is shrouded in complete darkness, devoid of any human emotion. Oh, is this because I took the locket? It appears as a young man, but Hugo knows that it's far from it. This very thing is trying to imitate human form, trying to be human. Hugo could only stare back. Paralyzed with fear, he is forced to watch the horror as it slowly creeps towards him. It's just like before, the sensation of someone staring at him from within. But this time it's drawing nearer. Inching ever so closely, the words to call out to Colby or Noah fail to reach out. Lodging in his throat, he struggles in pain. With his breathing shallow, he tries to force his body to move. Is this the first death that happens? If so, I'm glad I'm saved. And then it stops. Looking down at Hugo, filled with nothing but malice and contempt, it speaks.
Don't get in my way.
All of a sudden, the door to the bedroom slams shut and the entity disappears. The tension from his body finally releases its agonizing grip and he gasps desperately for air. His vision blurs and his breathing is haggard. He staggers towards the door. He yanks at the handle several times, but it's tightly jammed. Fuck! Noah! Colby! To his dismay, he is only greeted with silence at the other end of the door. Damn it! From a distance, he faintly hears the sound of Colby's relentless barking as it gets further away from the house. Hugo rushes towards the window. He tries to pry it open, but just like the door, a heavy force prevents him from doing so. Like being underwater, his movements slow and drawn out, as if being dragged down by that thing. Fuck this! Frantically looking around the room, he spots a nearby chair. Without a moment sooner, Hugo grabs the chair and starts to strike the window. Bit by bit, the window cracks get larger with each blow, splitting off smaller pieces. What the hell is this thing made of? Still trying to catch his breath, he musters all the strength he has left for a final blow. Damn you, just break already! Clearing out the remaining glass shards, Hugo peers his head out to see any railing he can grab hold of. However, he discovers instead that the wall adjacent is covered in ivy. Despite how heavy the rain has drastically become, he reaches out for it, grabbing a handful of the vines. Carefully, he climbs out the window, gripping tightly and making sure he doesn't lose his footing. Yet to his luck, the patch of vines he clutches start to tear away from the wall. Out of desperation, he struggles to find his grip on another, but fails when his hand slips out of reach. Shit! Clambering wildly as he loses his grip on the ivy, he crash lands down onto the thicket of bushes. Air forced out of him, he heaves uncontrollably, trying to even out his breathing. But even that is laborious. An immense pain spreads across not only his back, but his entire body. God, I'm getting too old for this. Although his body screams out in pain, he forces himself up. There's still time. I can do this. I have to do this. With staggering feet and haggard breathing, he makes his way to the place where it all started. To the lake where this tragedy starts and ends. Lake, whatever time. Finally entering through the park, Hugo calls out to Colby and Noah. Colby! Noah, where are you? He hears faintly the sounds of barking and echoes of people yelling in the distance. He rushes towards the echoes, guiding him through the downpour. With his heart racing and blood rushing to his head, he finds his way to the lake. Drawing closer, he sees Nina giving chase to her grandfather. Unfortunately, he doesn't get too far as Noah stops her. Grandpa! Stop, Grandpa! Let me go, Grandpa, he's... No, Nina. It's dangerous. You'll get hurt, too. I don't care. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. It's at that instant Hugo trudges against the water, pursuing in Nina's stead. Hugo? Don't! Please falls deaf to his ears. Not even the whines and worried cries of his partner could make him turn back. Determined, he forges ahead. Nearing the deep end of the lake, he sees Henry Mortimer gazing directly at the abyss. He looks even more frail and disheveled than before. It's as if all the life he's lived up until this point has begun to fray, draining every ounce of himself and surrendering it all to the lake. Before Henry could lean in, Hugo reaches out and tugs at his arm. Mr. Mortimer, listen to me. Nothing is waiting for you down there, so please come back to the shore with me. Motionless and unresponsive, he stares deeply into the water. The haze over his eyes is still obscure and persistent. There are so many things we cannot afford to lose in our lives, and you're in one of them. To Nina, you're all she has left. She needs you, Mr. Mortimer. Hugo felt it, a slight jolt from Henry's arm as if stirred by the mention of Nina. He slowly turns to face Hugo. Nina? However, just as cruel and violent as the storm, Henry jerks back, wrenching his arm away from Hugo's hold on him. No, all of this is my fault. If only I got to Louis sooner, then none of this would have happened. He was waiting for me, was patient with me, and yet for all the things he's done, I chose my family over him. He's gone because I didn't pick him. Henry backs further away from the shoreline. Mr. Mortimer! His manic eyes never straying away from Hugo as he keeps his distance from him. Louis, I'm sorry. I was the one who dragged you into this. You deserved so much more. And I wish... Henry struggled with his words. He clasped tightly to his shirt, his throat dry and taut from all that he has bottled up, from all those repressed and silent years of just waiting for this curse to finally take him. I wish I had gone with you that night, Louis. Sir, even if you still covet that wish, you wouldn't resolve anything. Not for you or Louis. I read what he wrote to you for those years ago. He understood if you didn't want to come see him. But the thing is, Mr. Mortimer, Louis never thought anything less of you. He said so in his letter to you. His letters. For the longest time, I wanted to believe he hated me for that, resented me for that choice. Or at least I thought it was easier for me to think that way. How long has it been since I talked about him? It's been too long, sir. But that's why you don't have to shoulder all that pain by yourself anymore. We can talk about it. About you and Louis. All of it together. Hugo extends not only his hand to him, but a promise. A promise that Henry had yearned for so long ago. A way to forgive himself. He hesitates at first. What fool believes in a deserved forgiveness? Such a thing doesn't exist. And yet, despite everything, Hugo still reaches out to him. To a stranger. Maybe he can be forgiven. Just as he was about to reach out for Hugo, a hand slithers around Henry's instead. Its arms unnaturally contort around him, while its head perches on his shoulder. This thing, this Louis, is no longer pretending to be human. With piercing, cold green eyes, it glares directly at Hugo, mocking him, cursing him, wishing nothing but despair.
We can be saved. We can be forgiven. There's only one true way out of this. I will share with you the most happiest of endings.
Before Hugo could reach out for Henry's hand, he disappears onto the water. Mr. Mortimer! Without hearing the anguished cries and desperate pleas, Hugo dives after him, into the abyss. Plunging into icy waters, Hugo feels shocks running rampant throughout his body, like spikes continuously piercing from his legs to the tips of his fingers, fiercely and unyielding. His chest tightens and his heart races as he begins to kick his legs, hoping whichever way he goes, he'll find his way to Henry. Swimming deeper and deeper in, he sees faintly a figure slowly descending into the darkness. Ugh. As he finally gets closer to Henry, long snake-like arms stretch across the void and grab Hugo's neck, violently squeezing all the air out from him. He tries desperately to wrench its hands away. But with each struggle, Hugo's movements begin to weigh heavier and heavier.
Lewis! Where are you, Lewis?
It's looking for Lewis. Digging deep into his coat's pocket, he grasps tightly in his hand the locket that Henry kept and had long forgotten. Holding it out, it shines ever so brightly in the dark.
There you are.
It releases its grip on Hugo and instead reaches out for the locket. Taking this as a chance, he drops the chains and kicks it with all his might to grab Henry's arm. With his heart and body screaming in pain, he swims desperately to the surface. Almost there. I just have to... As light from the surface begin to blur, Hugo makes one last attempt to reach for it. With his limbs worn out and his energy spent, this is all he can do. Before he loses his consciousness, he notices a figure swimming towards them, getting closer and closer. And then everything fades to black. Drifting along with what feels like an endless sea, Hugo courses through wave after wave, not knowing where he's going or caring for that matter. All he knows is that he's very, very tired. How long has it been since he had a good night's rest? It's been too long. Maybe I should take that rest now. I like that so much. I agree that you deserve it, but not here. Huh? I'm sorry for startling you. I just wanted to see you one last time before I go. Lewis? You've done so much for me and Henry. I can't thank you enough. No worries. I want to thank you too for watching over me. And also, I want to apologize for my remarks from before. I really thought that I had things figured out once I found you, but you know how that turned out for me. It's alright, really. After all this time, I didn't think anyone could hear me. Especially Henry. Lewis. I was worried about him for a long time. He always wanted to keep me away from his personal struggles, to keep me safe from them, but I was too stubborn for my own good. Honestly, I don't regret it. Any of it. Even if I could no longer reach out to Henry. Fate weaved its thread back to you, our tangent connecting us once more to this very moment. And for that, I am forever grateful to you, Hugo. You're welcome, Lewis. From a far-off distance, Hugo hears a voice crying out to him, beckoning for him to return. Well, they're waiting for you. I guess they really are, huh? Take care always, Hugo. You too, Lewis.
The lake. At some time.
With his eyes closed and his senses still returning, he feels constant tugs and licks of a certain bloodhound.
Oh, don't do that to him. You gotta wake up.
Whining as he tries to wake up his partner. Hugo! He also hears another familiar voice, too annoyingly close for comfort. Eyes shot right open, he jerks up. Confused, Hugo looks around before he coughs up the remaining water in his lungs. Are you alright? Noah starts to pat his back while Colby continues to whine over Hugo. What happened? Where's Mr. Mortimer? He's safe, so is Nina. They're both okay. The police and the ambulance should be arriving soon. Thank goodness. Isn't there more you have to say to me? Instead of thank goodness? I swear you don't listen to the damn word I say. I'm sorry, Noah. Exhausted, he lets out a sigh. He then continues to pat Hugo's back aggressively when someone approaches them. Detective Laurent? Oh, Nina. There's someone I want you to meet. Behind her stands an elderly man. Frail in stature, he timidly looks to the side pensively as he ponders to himself. Although his youth has long faded, his eyes are what catches Hugo's attention. They're no longer a piercing and vicious green, only eyes just like Nina's. Hello, Mr. Mortimer. Detective. I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. I always thought about it every day. What if Lewis lived on this world? What if he stayed a little longer with me? It's because of that constant mindset I dragged everyone down. And I kept hurting not only me, but Nina especially. I was the only one who kept hurting her, the one to blame for all of this. But you, someone that I've never met, still went out of your way to save me, not knowing my burdens or my faults. Thank you.
Hugo reaches out to Henry and smiles brightly at him.
It's my pleasure, sir. But before he lets go, Henry tugs at Hugo's hand one last time. I hope that someday you too will overcome it.
The next day, 8 a.m. Do I get more of the game, or is that just that one case? Because, man, that would suck.
Did I really just get the good ending immediately? Well, good morning, Hugo. You're bright and early. Morning? With much fervor and haste, Hugo resumes writing on his notepad. Although, by closer inspection, he looks like he's going to combust any minute. Are you writing up the report? Without looking up, Hugo responds back. Yeah, for the most part. You still need to write yours too. I will, but since I haven't had breakfast yet, and I don't like eating by myself... Let me guess. 2 is better than 1? Bingo! Wow, Hugo, you're really catching on. I'm so proud of you. Ah, shut it, will you? I swear, if only I hadn't fallen off from the goddamn window, maybe my report would have been shorter. Before Noah could begin to cut the bacon, he pauses at the mention of Hugo's report. Oh, yeah, by the way, mind telling me what happened to Mortimer's window? I broke it. Well, that's obvious to me. What I don't understand is, why is it broken? Do you know how much it costs to repair a window like that? I know. It was really dumb of me. I'm sorry. Besides, I told Mr. Mortimer about it before we left. Honestly, I was expecting an earful from him. And also the bill. And, surprisingly enough, he said it was okay. Lucky us, right? So what? You just called it a day after all that? Thank you so much, Mr. Mortimer. You broke it. You pay for it. Would you chill? Of course I'll pay for it. But each time I kept insisting, he just shrugged it off. Said that we already went through a lot for them, so this was nothing in comparison. Ugh. You know what? He's right. After all that we went through, we deserve at least a nap. Before he could walk away, he stops and sees a familiar person walking towards the storefront, carrying something with her.
Good morning, you two.
Oh! Just barely a foot through the door, a certain bloodhound stirs up from his resting spot and makes his way towards Nina, tail uncontrollably wagging.
Good morning to you too, Colby.
Nina scratches behind one of Colby's ears, making his right foot unconsciously move on its own, scratching an invisible but desirable spot for him. Good morning, Miss Nina. Morning. What brings you here this time around? Is everything alright with your grandfather?
Yes, he's doing pretty well, actually. Even better than before. He talked so much last night, I hardly slept at all. But honestly, it's been a while since I last spoke to him so freely like that. I hardly felt tired at all.
It's wonderful to hear.
But there is something else I wanted to ask the both of you for. To put it bluntly, I need your help. If you two aren't busy, I would like some company eating these. Inside a clear plastic bag are a stack of 2 boxes placed on top of one another. She opens the box in top and reveals a colorful array of neatly decorated donuts, all lined perfectly.
How did you know they like coffee and donuts? Was there any suspicions for any certain specific reasons? No cramped or squished spaces. Ooh. A work of art in Hugo's eyes. Wow, so pretty! Donuts? They look so
Delicious. He looks so happy. That's me. Anytime Hawk talks about getting me some coffee or if he's making a snack run, that's my face. That's the face I make right there. We're more than happy to eat these with you, Nina. Or all of them. For me, specifically. I'm the one who broke my back and drowned and had to jump out a window. There he goes again with his donuts. Ah, but yes, please join us, Miss Nina. We were about to have our breakfast too. Weren't we, Kuya?
Always so brazen in front of others.
You do make it exceptionally easy for me.
You both have a great chemistry with each other. On second thought, I'm way too tired for this. I'm going to have to apologize in advance for this, Nina. But truthfully, I've been running on last night's coffee, and I'm about to pass out any minute now.
Oh, no worries, honestly. I think a little break time sounds like what we all need right now.
Thanks. Hugo puts down his pen and proceeds to head for the couch.
Colby follows after him, and he's gonna sleep on him, even though he's probably giant compared to Hugo.
Would you like to join us, Miss Nina?
I would love to.
I guess we save these for later then.
Yes, please do. Please leave me some.
Now come on, it's nap time.
Noah sighs heavily before setting down the food on his desk. He then gestures Nina towards the sofa, in which he happily takes his offer and joins them.
I'm getting too old.
I mean, you are old. No, he's only like in his 30s. He's not that old. 30s are not old. It's just as old as you are letting yourself be. And by that, I mean all the things you lead up to that point. If you lead a hard life, then more than likely, yeah, you're damn well gonna feel old.
Shut it.
This is really nice. Aw, good boy, Colby. Come here.
Nina quietly coos at him and begins to scratch at the back of Colby's ears once more. Hugo leans a little closer to Noah, his voice above a whisper, but close enough for Noah to only hear him. You know, I'm glad that you came along yesterday.
Oh, what's this? Are you getting chummy with me now?
Call it chummy or whatever, but I really mean it. If you hadn't saved us back there... Look, I told you before. I'll be there whenever you get yourself into reckless shit. Besides, didn't you say this was our nap time? Get some rest. You deserved it. You too. A calming silence fills the room as they bask under the morning glow. No big parties or celebrations, just each other's company and sharing this small reward, a small and warm comfort. Good end, case closed.
Alright, I will see if I can't get a bad end, even though, let's face it, we all love this good end already. But I'm gonna see if I can't get a bad end by doing some other options for my saves in a separate video next week. So, if you liked this video, leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to see more content by me, and don't forget to comment if there's any games. By the way, that's free. I'm a broke bish. Leave a comment about those games. All right. If you stuck around this long, here, have a cookie. And I will see you, creepy cats, in the next one. Bye.